Jonathan Weinberg, and this is Drawing with Fountain Pens. Today I'm going to talk about a interesting vintage pen by Lamy. If you watch this channel, you know that I am a great admirer of Lamy. This is a pen that isn't that well known. It was made in the 70s to early 80s, probably with a student market. Wasn't a super expensive pen. But in many ways, it looks like and takes some of its design cues from the Lamy 2000, which is sort of Lamy's most outstanding, most iconic pen. Maybe competes, I suppose, with the Safari as well. But Lamy 2000 is definitely one of my favorite pens. Here's the black version, which is, I think, quite elegant. And I guess looks even more like the Lamy 2000. I picked these pens up actually or bought these pens from Paul Arano, who of course is the editor of the Fountain Pen Journal and also is a dealer and often can be seen at fountain pen shows. And I bought it about a year ago, and I always meant to talk about it, but I never got around to doing so. This is the box that it came in. It has a very sort of European look to it, I think, and a kind of mid-century modern feel to it, although the 70s is beginning to be a bit late for mid-century modern design. This cap is made out of the same Microlon material, which is a polycarbonate, which of course was so unusual about the Lamy 2000 when it came out in 1966. And it was at that time talked about as a kind of space age material. So it partakes of that in the cap. And if you open this up, you see that's the Lamy 2000. It's almost like they reverse the two. Here you have the Lamy 2000, you have the brushed chrome feed or section. And here you have the Microlon section and the brushed aluminum, I guess, steel part here in the barrel. And so there's a kind of reversal. This is a much more of a semi-hooded nib. It's almost not hooded at all. You can see the breather hole, while the Lamy 2000 is more of a hooded nib. So there is that, and its little breather hole. They both, I guess, have a breather hole on the bottom as well. So here they particularly when you turn them over, they particularly have a resemblance as if they're part of the same family. So, and they both also have caps that click on and off. So if I go like that and like that, they both have flat tops. Here it's the brushed chrome. On the bottom it is black on the Lamy 25p. Now when the pen is in this, I guess, kind of mustard color, or you might say it could be a kind of apricot color, this now becomes plastic. And I think it's a little cheaper feel to it with the plastic rather than the black. I don't think it works quite as well. Although on the other hand, I kind of like this color. To me, this is a very European color, kind of color that European designers would use. Not a color that I think American designers, particularly now, would use. I think when IKEA first opened in the United States, you would see a lot of things with colors like that. I say that though, but I realize that I'm wearing a Fitbit, and it is right now almost exactly that color. So I guess the colors come in and out of fashion. There aren't a lot of, let's put it this way, there aren't a lot of pens and fountain pens that are in that color. And I think also when it came out, it was also, you could also get it in a red. I do like very much the way the cap just sort of clicks on and off very beautifully. That's also true of the Lamy 2000. The big difference, of course, is where the letter P comes in, which stands for patronin, I guess. I'm not quite sure how you pronounce that in German, but that means simply cartridge. And this pen was designed to be a cartridge pen, although it will take a international style converter, and that's significant. So I guess in the 70s, Lamy was not using, when it created a cartridge pen, they did not use a proprietary cartridge. It used what we often call an international cartridge. But be warned that a lot of times not every so-called international style or standard style cartridge fits. I found that the Pelican cartridges actually do very well, and that's what I'm using to test the pen. One thing I really like about the pen too is the clip, which is a little bit more like a kind of paper clip or quality to it. It's not heavy metal, but it does the job, and I think it's very nicely done, very simple. Of course, that's quite different from the much more substantial and elegant brushed chrome clip that you see on the Lamy 2000. I mean, every way the Lamy 2000 is a more expensive pen, particularly keeping in mind that it is a piston filler, not a cartridge pen, and also it has a gold nib, which writes so wonderfully. Although I feel these pens write well, they do not compare to the smoothness and the quality of the Lamy 2000. Although the pen is fairly light, it feels substantial in the hand. It doesn't feel cheap, and I think that's very nice. And it has this very nice streamlined quality. It posts very well. I think it's quite an elegant pen, and I really like it. You used to be able to find these pens very inexpensively. Paul Arano gave me a really good deal on the two of them when I bought them from his booth in, I think it was last year in Philadelphia. But lately I've seen them on eBay for a lot more money. There's one, I think, on eBay right now, one of the mustard color ones for $159. That seems a little pricey for me. I think you're better off, I wouldn't spend anywhere, more than $100 for a pen like this. They used to see a lot of them for sale. What I'm going to do now is do a writing sample using the black version of the pen, and then I'm going to do drawing a Bugzy, who is a lovely, wonderful dog who is been a little bit under the weather lately, and hopefully this will cheer him up. So how does it write? So this is the Lamy 25p, and this is a medium nib. This is a Pelican royal blue cartridge, and this is rhodia paper. And it writes very nicely. It's quite wet, has a bit of feedback, but it's pleasant. It actually writes a little bit like, I should say, a Lamy 2000, but it's not quite as smooth. It has a little bit of a pencil feel to it. It has no flex to it at all. But it feels very nice in the hand. It's very well weighted. Very pleasant. That was pretty quick, no skipping. You know, for a pen that is probably 45 years old, it's pretty impressive, I think. It wasn't a very expensive pen, I think, when it was new. So it's a nice pen, particularly if you can find one at a bargain price. In conclusion, the pen writes really nicely. It's wet and lively. It doesn't have any flex particularly, but it's a really good pen for writing. And it's streamlined design, this sort of, I guess you would say, torpedo-like or space age-like design of the pen, I think is going to appeal to people who like the Lamy 2000, but also if you're somebody who likes the Parker 51 or any of the other pens that are sort of in that mode. Schaefer made pens like that. Really pens that I think I kind of associate with the 50s and the 60s and the kind of Mad Men advertising world. You're going to like this pen. As always, if you find this video useful, don't forget to subscribe and click the like button.